Welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to share a few tidbits to help with classroom management. In part one, you will learn about creating effective rules that are designed to help you with classroom management. In part two, we will discuss how to effectively manage centers in your classroom. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Carol Gamble, and I'm a staff consultant for Duval Teachers United. And today we're going to be talking about effective rules and how they contribute to effective classroom management. So, why do we have rules in the class? Rules not only help us maintain order in the classroom, rules also help students understand that they must have structure and that rules must be followed for the rest of their lives. You can't teach in chaos. So let's begin on how to have effective rules. So effective rules are definable. Be specific. What does a rule look like? What does it sound like? They must be reasonable. The rules in your classroom must make sense to the students. If it doesn't make sense to them, they are not going to follow that rule. Your rules must be enforceable. You must be ready to back your rules up. Whether it's that sweet student that broke a rule must have the same consequence as that student that acts out every day. They must be few in number, 4 or 5 at the most. Pick only those rules that are important to you and how you manage your class. They must be student generated. I know you are saying, why should the students have a say as to what rules go on in my classroom? Well, it's very easy. You see, if students can generate a rule for themselves, they have ownership and they will follow that rule. There are rules for making rules. First of all, 4 to 5 positively stated. Never start your rules off with a negative word like don't, never, stop. Always start your rules with positive words like always and please. They must be clear, concise, and memorable. Never make your rules so convoluted that the students don't know what you're talking about. Your rules must be posted eye level and prominently. Students need to be able to see the rules every day and you can refer to them while you're teaching. Include students in the creations of rules. Yes, always change your rules every year. You don't teach the same students every year, so your rules should change as well. Rules for using rules. Apply rules consistently. Whether it's for the sweet little students that never hardly ever get in trouble or for the students that get in trouble every day. Your consequences and your rules are for your whole class. Pre-correct for student success. So before you start to instruct, you tell your class what the expectations are. They should be sitting up. They should be on voice level 0. They should be in their seats and all eyes on you. Acknowledge and reward the use of rules. So when students are doing what they should be doing and following the rules in the class, acknowledge them with a thank you for being a good class today, or reward them maybe with a sticker or maybe with a pizza party at the end of the week. And we all know that middle school students do not like to be rewarded in public. So you may have to do your reward with them one on one so they can get their acknowledgement as well. And correct behavior errors immediately. Do not let a behavior go on for a long period of time. You have to stop it right then and correct it. Because if you don't, the behavior will only intensify. Rules for rules. Teaching your rules. You start off the first day teaching your rules and what your rules look like and what they sound like. You also want to apply 3 equal 33 weeks technique. What is that? That is when a teacher spends the first 3 weeks of school just teaching students the rules, the routines, and the schedules. This practice sets the stage for the following 33 weeks of school when academics can be taught with fewer disruptions due to behavior. Also, you want to model your rules. You want to make sure that your students in your class understands what the rule looks like to you, what it sounds like in your classroom. Because sit down, stay in your seat could look a whole lot different in someone else's classroom than it does in yours. And also, you want to reteach your rules. You want to reteach your rules when students come back from long periods of time on breaks. For instance, winter break, when they're gone. When they come back, they seem to have just forgotten everything they learned the first part of school. So you sit them down and you reteach your rules to them. You remind them of what the rules are. Also, when they come back from spring break, which is just a week, but you still reteach the rules. When you do this, you make sure that you have uh, fluency and that the children know what your rules are. When you have good classroom management, you can teach and students can learn. Thank you. Have a good day.
Welcome to today's presentation on how to effectively manage centers in your classroom. During this presentation, I will discuss a few tidbits that will assist you in creating student-led centers. My name is Patricia Baker, and I'm a staff consultant here at DTU. If centers are going to be successful, our students have to understand what is expected, and they must have clear guidelines established. As the teacher, you have to define specific learning goals for each center. We also have to outline what rules and procedures our students will follow as they're using their materials and transitioning between centers. We also must inform students about what behavior is appropriate and what collaboration will look like within their groups. Let's talk about center rotations and time management. During center rotations, students should be aware of how to move from one center activity to the next. In order to do that, we have to create a rotation schedule. Setting time limits for each of those centers helps maintain focus. It also helps prevent any disruptions that may happen. When we create time restraints on a task, our students tend to complete assignments with minimal disruptions. It's always a good idea to use some type of visual timer to help our students transition from one center to the next. In order for our students to be ready to participate in centers, we have to provide them with detailed instructions. Students should be aware of the learning objective and what our expected outcome is once they complete a center activity. We have to train and empower our student leaders to facilitate the centers. They should be able to answer questions and support their peers. As a good teacher, we should always model the activity to strengthen our students' understanding. With thorough instruction and training, what used to be a teacher-led center will evolve into a student-led center. Students love to lead. By creating leadership roles for centers, they get an opportunity to take ownership of their learning. Remember to give all your students an opportunity to use their leadership skills, even those who are reluctant. You can do that by creating a rotation schedule. Teach your student leaders how to hold their key peers accountable. They need to understand how to do that without being demeaning or alienating their peers. We can do this by promoting positive interactions. centers need a resource-rich workspace. What you want to do is label everything in your center. Label your shelves, bins, and containers. Give them pictures or text, makes it easily accessible, and students know where to find what they need. Containers. Containers are always a good way to keep your centers organized. You can opt for bins, baskets, buckets, drawers. Most of the time, when there are no lids, it's easily accessible to our students, easy for them to reach and access. Color coding makes a world of difference. Assign different colors to different types of supplies. This is a good visual organizer for a lot of our students. Teach our students how to use these materials and respect them. When the center supplies are accessible to students, valuable time is not wasted looking for what's needed. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed my little tidbits on how to effectively manage centers. Remember, when we learn, we grow. Join us next time.